Hello and welcome back to graphing to inequalities. Before we begin, I just want to review what we went over in the last video, and that was these symbols, more than or better. Remember that was an open circle when we graphed. Worse or less than, and that was an open circle as well. And these two symbols, which were closed circle, one is better or the same as, worse or the same as. Remember we went over comparing numbers. Is 9 better or worse than -4? Or is 9 good decisions better or worse than 4 bad decisions? Better, right? And we also reviewed how to graph in the last video. So today we're going to continue on going over something, changing order. Does changing the order change the statement? So last time we said is 8 bad decisions. Remember, 8 like bad decisions would mean like negative. There's like a connection there. So if you think about 8 bad things that somebody does, is that better or worse than 3 good things somebody does? It's worse, right? It's worse. What if I switch those numbers around? What if I kind of change the order up a bit? Now, would keeping that symbol, would that still be the same? When the order changes, is it still worse? Are 3 good decisions better or worse now than 8 bad decisions? Is 3 still worse, or is it better? Better, right? 3 good decisions are way better than 8 bad decisions. So we notice that when the symbol switches directions, when, of course, the numbers change. Let's try this one. 4 are 4 good decisions better or worse than 6 bad decisions? Better, right? If I switch up the order again, do I still keep the same symbol? It's still, when the order changes, is it still going to be better? So are 6 bad decisions better or worse than 4 good decisions? Worse, right? It's worse. The symbol changed. The order changed, and so did the symbol, because, it's not the same relationship anymore. Again, what do we notice is that, the symbol switches directions because the relationship between the numbers is not the same anymore. How about, are 2 bad decisions better or worse than 9 bad decisions? And I know bad decisions, bad things are bad, but if you had to choose between, are 2 better or worse than 9 bad? Are 2 bad better or worse than 9 bad? Better, right? It's not that much better, but it's better. Now, if I change the order again, when I change the order, is the relationship still the same? Are 9 bad decisions still better or worse than 2 bad decisions? Well, 9 bad decisions, 9 bad things are way worse than 2 bad things. So again, the point I'm trying to make here is that when the order changes, we do notice that the symbol changes because the relationship does not stay the same. I want you to know this so that when we start using variables, hint, hint, you know why we're switching the symbol. Okay, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I'm going to skip a couple of these. So let's go ahead and go over. So let's say number 1, 3 is, but does it work with variables too? So let's say 3 is better or the same as all numbers. So let's switch up the order. And let's see if the statement still holds true. So all numbers are worse than 3. Let's see. All numbers. Let's just see if they're the same. So think of some numbers that are worse or the same as 3. Well, 3 is the same, right? 3 is the same as 3. 2 is way worse than 3. 1 is way worse, and 0 is way worse, right? Way worse than 3. Let's see, do those same numbers hold true? Is 3 the same as or better than 3? Well, yeah. Is 3 better than 2? Yeah. Is 3 better than 1? Yeah. Is 3 better than 0? Yeah, so the same numbers kind of hold true no matter, even if I change the order. Change the order, the numbers that were better than 3, so I'm sorry, numbers that were worse than 3 are the same ones that are 3 is better than all of those numbers. I guess I go through that whole entire process via PowerPoint. I'm going to keep that in mind for the next slide. Okay, keep that in mind. Be prepared to be amazed. So yes, it does. How about this one? So this is 2 bad decisions are worse than all the decisions you could possibly make, or the same. Let's see, if I switch up the order, all numbers or decisions are now better than 2 bad decisions. So again, let's kind of list some numbers. So what are some numbers that are better than 2 bad? Right, -2 is the same, -1 is a little bit better, 0, 1. So let's go ahead and see. -2 is the same as -2. -1 is better than -2. Making no decisions is better than 2 bad decisions. And definitely 1 good decision is better than 2 bad decisions. Let's see if this holds true. 2 bad decisions are the same, again, as 2 bad decisions. 2 bad decisions are worse than 1 bad decision. 2 bad decisions are worse than no decision at all. And 2 bad decisions are worse than 1 good decision. So we see that even though we switch up the order, the statement still stays the same. All we did was we switched the orders of the variable and the number, and the symbol switched. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm not going to go through every single one of these. It's just a little tedious, if you ask me. I really went into this. So the point is, if it looks like this, what we're going to do is we're going to switch the order of the symbol for 2 reasons. One, it still seems the same as far as the statement goes. Numbers that we can use to substitute in for the variable, the statement still stays the same. It looks familiar. It's way easier to graph. Like we graphed in the last section, we're going to find a way easier time graphing. So let's just practice a little bit of graphing and practice recognizing when we do need to change the order. Okay, so let's try this first one. So this first one, 6 is less than or equal to x. We switch or not switch? We are going to switch. So we're going to switch the variable and number. And notice the direction that the inequality symbol changes. So we're going to start with 6. 6 is better. Let's say we're going to graph it. So we're going to start with 6. Is 6 better or the same as 6? The same, right? So we're going to draw in a circle. What are some other numbers that are better than 6? 7, right? 8, 9, and so on and so forth. So all the numbers to the right are going to be included, including 6. How about this next one? You always just want to fill in the numbers to the left as well. Count back, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does this one need to switch? X is less than or equal to 11, or X is worse than 11. We don't need to switch, right? We can just kind of leave it as is. So let's start with 11, all right? This is worse. So is 11 worse than 11? No, it's not. So we're not going to include it. We are going to put a giant circle around it, though, right? And what are some other numbers you can think that are worse than 11? Well, 10, is 12? Is 12 worse than 11? No. What are some other numbers that might be worse than 11? 10 might be worse than 11. 9 might be worse than 11. Pretty much all the numbers that are lower than 11 would be included in this. All right, how about this next one? Then you want to include all the numbers 12, 13, 14, all the way up. This one need to switch. -4 is greater than or equal to x, or -4 is better than x. This one would switch, right? So again, we're going to compare, we're going to switch it. Symbol switches directions. So let's compare it to -4. Is -4 worse than -4? No, it's not. So we're going to put a giant circle around it. All right. What are some other numbers that we can think of that are worse? 5 comes to mind. 5 is worse. -6 is worse. -7 is worse. All the numbers to the left of -4 are way worse. Okay, how about, and again, you want to include all of them, -6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. How about this one? Does this one need to switch? No, it doesn't need to switch at all. So we're going to compare it to -2. So we'll start with -2. Is -2 better or the same as -2? The same, right? Let's try it. What are some other numbers that are better than 2 bad decisions? Is -3 better or worse? Or better the same? No. Right, it's not better. How about -1? Yes. 0, yes. And I could probably include, numbers like 1, 2, 3. These are all way better, right, than -2. Let's try one last one for the road. Does this one need to switch? No, it doesn't need to switch. We're going to be comparing all of our numbers to -8. So is -8 better than -8? No. So again, we're going to put a giant circle on that one. What are some other numbers that might be better than -8? Is -9 better, or 9 bad decisions better than 8 bad decisions? No. So let's try another number. So now 7 bad decisions are just as bad, but 7 is a little bit better than 8. And 6 is a little bit better than that. And of course, all the positive numbers that will eventually be over here. So all the numbers to the right of -8. Why don't you try a couple of these on your own? I'm just going to kind of go through these. So pause me and then try one of these out on your own. All right, hopefully you paused. So we will switch this symbol. We will compare it all to 9. 9 is the same as 9. Some other numbers, 10 is worse. No, 10's not worse, so it's not going to be included. But 8's worse, and so is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try one more for the road. Actually, this might be our last one. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please come into the center, ask your tutors, ask your teachers, and as always, happy problem solving.